And welcome to Coffee Talk. Jules of Gina. Welcome, my friend. How are you doing? You are looking quite fit in your exercise videos and the shorts that you do. Really, you're really doing well. And I wish you well in your professional endeavors. I have not been on consistently since my wife's been having her health issues. I miss quite a bit. I'm way down on my live streams, and I'm way down on my watch time. But as you know, being monetized, it's about the views. It's about the views, and it's about the likes and such to help motivate your channel. That and supportive comments. So I guess on your side of the world, 7 o'clock, about 8 o'clock in the morning where you're at. What time does your school start in the morning? What time do you have to be at work? Let me give you top chat. Come on now. Top chat. Why aren't you coming? All messages are visible. Live chat. Huh? It's not wanting to let me do it. I don't understand that. All right. Let's go back here. Channel here, live stream, and let me add moderator, standard moderator. All right, Gina, you are now a standard moderator. Oh, it's raining? Well, I love the rain. Hasn't rained here in a month. Hasn't rained here in a month. And water the plants in the garden, the front and some of the back. But the grass is all dead, looks brown. At least I don't have to mow it. Which is a good thing, not having to mow. You used to bathe in the rain. I bet you that was something to see. You're still a beautiful woman. I'm sure you were gorgeous back then. Hello, Uncle Al. How are you doing, my friend? Two of my good friends are here. Gina, I wish I could send you a box, but I mean, as expensive it would be. I can imagine how expensive it would be. I need to really check into it, but like I send a box here to somebody, it's like $15. I send a box across the border to Canada, like just driving distance, a couple of miles on the other side of the border, I had a winner that I had sent one of my subscribers with $60 to send that box to Canada. And it was just a few miles across the border. I can imagine how expensive it would be to send a box over halfway across the world. Yes, please hit the like button. Well, I really like your stuff. I mean, I try to watch your shorts. I try to watch some of your. I haven't been really supporting my friends like Uncle Al, Dave, you, Doors. You know, some of the people, Margie. I haven't been supporting Jocelyn. I haven't been supporting my friends the way I was before. Um, I work, I work 5 days a week. Get up early. I'm at work before 7. I get out usually around 4:15, 4:30. Wednesdays I usually get out around 5. It's meeting day. And when I come home, I got stuff I need to do. The wife and uh, certain things that I do. But she's getting better. She's getting better. And she went and had her hair done today. They gave her permanent this next week. She goes and she has it. She'll have them dye it because she's at that age where she's starting to get gray hair. She'll be 54 this next month. I'm not supposed to talk about women's age, but my wife, she'll turn 54 this next month. Yeah, Uncle Al's always, and that's good advice. My problem is I'm getting old, and I'm afraid I'd fall over on a bike. I used to have a bike. I've had several bikes. If I got a bike now, it'd probably be a three-wheeler, something that I wouldn't fall over on. Which there's nothing wrong with a three-wheeler. Might be a little more expensive, but I would probably buy a three-wheeler if I was going to buy a bike right now. The thing about a three-wheeler is I could have a little trunk in the back of it so I could haul stuff. you know. Um, let's see, what do we got here right now? 3 in the house, 2 likes. Good Lord, it's a slow evening. I guess somebody else is live streaming right now, probably. Um, well, I tell you, Uncle Al, I was looking at, I just dropped a video for Dave and Echo. Yours will be next. And I saw, I was looking at your text messages about what I should put or not put. I will not put a funnel. I will I will send you some aqua pills, some water tabs, and snuck out of bed. Yeah. You know, what I would tell you, Gina, and I'm sure you probably have a decent income, with your job and everything. I would tell you to have a little stove. Get yourself a little portable stove that you can use with a pot to boil water. If there was a power outage or if there was some sort of situation, boiling water kills a lot of the stuff in it, bacteria and such. But likewise, boiling water, you want hot coffee or hot tea, you want to make some soup. If you have any freeze dried food or anything that you've got to put water in, hot water to reconstitute it, having a means, an inexpensive means to be able to boil water in a power outage is a good thing to have. So I would tell you to get get yourself a little folding stove, something that you can use with sterno or canned heat or little fuel tabs, or you can get one that will burn on. You can use wood. You like, it's like making a little campfire. You can get something that you can put twigs in and and moss and various things that will burn. You can light and have yourself plenty of matches. To matches are inexpensive. I mean, I get these things are like in here, like at Walmart in the States, it's like 99 cents for a box with 320 matches. So I have a couple of these. They're not expensive. I don't know about where you're at, but I would not think they'd be that expensive where you're at either. And have a means to be able to boil water. Have plenty of, if you've got bottles, if you can get some 3-gallon or 5-gallon jugs, have them full of water, clean water. Because in a power outage, you may not have running water. And clean water will keep you alive. You can't go long without water. Melinda Elliott. Hello, Melinda Elliott. Thank you for coming. Come by. I will tell you, in my opinion, Jimmy Carter was an idiot for letting the Philippines go back. The Philippines should probably be a couple of states or a state in the Union. And they used to use the U.S. dollar. The two languages, one of the two official languages is English. The people, the culture, they'd fit right in. And I think that they would be blessed and we would be blessed. Maybe in the future, you never know. But that would take a vote of the people to want to do it, and we'd have to want to do it too. And then the politics of the matter is, well, how would they vote? The right would not want them if they're going to be voting left, and the left would not want them if they're going to be voting right. So oftentimes what you have to do was like when Alaska and Hawaii became states, one of them went in as a blue state and one of them went in as a red state, and that basically balanced them out. So they were able to go in together. Right now, Cuba, the grid is out. Their grid is out. They have not had power for 4 days. 10 million people without power. And they're mad as hell. I'm sure that there are probably some facilities that have power from generators. They probably have some generators, that are running. How long their fuel lasts, I do not know. Might be running out of fuel. But a lot of angry people. There. Truman wasn't the one that gave it back. It was Carter. Really, I think it was Carter. Carter did a lot of bad things. He gave away the Panama Canal. It was during Carter's term that the Russians invaded Afghanistan. The Shah of Iran was overthrown, which they were our allies. A lot of negative things happened during Carter's term. Do you have a bunker? No, I'm not that wealthy. I have quite stocked up in my house, but no, I do not have a bunker. There are some people who are able to buy, they have them built underground. They take some large pipe that they would use for construction, you know, pipe and such. And they're able to modify it, and they go and they trench out and they dig out and they can bury it, and they put some floors in it, and you know, they have special doors and filtration systems that they install to keep it, you know, as far as contamination, anticipating a nuclear war. You know, that's what they get that for. So the possibility of a nuclear war, you know, if there was some sort of major conflict, you'd want to be in a position where you were sheltered for a couple of weeks until the fallout tends to die down and it's a little bit better. Especially if you're not directly, you know, at the site of a targeting. And I don't live in an area that would be targeted. The nearest targeting area would probably be 100 miles away. And then it would be probably like Houston, San Antonio, and Corpus because well, it's a third of a million people, but also because of the ports. It's got a huge port. It's got military base, naval base, and such. So that would be probably oil facilities and such. That would probably, so those three areas would probably, I'd be right in the middle of them. U.S. freed the Philippines in 46. You know, you might be right. I think it was Carter that pulled the bases or pulled us out of Subic Bay. They pulled us out of the Philippines. I think it was Carter that did that. Pulled out our military and pulled out our bases. Hello, mom of 4 boys. Welcome. You know, I'll tell you, my mind is not what it used to be. I have a bachelor's degree in history, one of my degrees. And at one time, I could talk about a great many things historical. Nowadays, my mind isn't what it used to be, and it's been 40 years since I had my bachelor's in history. But Dave and Echo should get their box that I sent Thursday. Tell them to look for it on Thursday. And I released the video that I made this past weekend today. If you want to have a shot at the 1,800 subscriber giveaway, and I'm getting closer to the 1,800. If you want to have an opportunity to be in the drawing for the box, please leave a like and supportive comment on the last 5 videos, each of the last 5 videos that I will have released when I hit that 1,800. You know, the last few videos I've released, I think one of them was like 4 minutes. A couple of the box videos, the goodie box videos, were like 8 minutes. I haven't been releasing stuff that's like takes you 2 years to watch. And I haven't been throwing in intros and outtakes and putting extra fluff on it. I've just basically been covering what I've been covering. I am going to be doing hello, Mr. Whistle, and hello, Little Lone Prepper. Thank y'all for coming. Well, Uncle Al tells me stick to the script. So let me try to get into some stuff related to the script. Yes, please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. So today's topics, as discussed earlier with my fellow, you know, original old school mentor type, Uncle Al, um, Dutch ovens. Dutch ovens are really good for cooking. Now you can spend, well, you could go to a garage sale or an estate sale and get you one, a really nice one, inexpensively. You can spend $400 or $500 on one, you know. But just getting a good quality, heavy duty, you know, Dutch oven, you can get one for $50 or, you know, a little under $50 for a decent one. Um, they're wide, they're fairly shallow. Um, the lid will be tight fitting, and it'll really hold in the condensation, the heat. You can use it on the stove top, or you can use it inside your oven. You know, it'll really do you well for cooking. You know, very efficient with the heat. So, you know, that would be something. You're cooking on a fire, that'd be something to have, a Dutch oven. Um, so for your SHTF situations where you get a power outage and you have freezers, you got a refrigerator, you got two refrigerators, you got a freezer, you got full of stuff, and you don't want to lose that stuff. How are you going to power it? Well, if the grid goes down, how are you going to power it? So I Googled, and I don't know that this is true, but I Googled how long would a 20-pound propane tank run a small propane generator, something that would put out a couple thousand watts. And the answer I got back was about 5 hours. Now, I don't know that to be true. I really need to probably look at some of the videos that people put out. Like, I know that there are some channels that do test and review and put out, and I've seen some of the stuff that they've done. I really need to go and look at some of that, as opposed to just Googling real fast, well, how long is it going to run? And let's say it ran 5 hours continuously, you know. Well, first of all, that's expensive. Filling up a propane tank is not cheap. It's not super expensive, but it's expensive. And if it's only going to run for 5 hours, you would need 5 of them to keep the thing running for a full 24-hour day. I can't believe that I think you would get more. I think you'd get like 8 or 10 hours, you know, if you were running it in a low power mode, or you know, you're not running at full power. I think you would get more use from that. I think it would run it longer. So the other thing is, you're going to pay $400, $500, $600, depending on what you buy. Oh, you can pay $1,000. You're going to pay a pretty good amount of money for a propane generator. You know, you get a dual fuel. You can get a dual fueled generator, because most of them are not just propane; they're dual fueled. You can get a dual fueled generator and just run it with propane. It'll be better for the engine. The engine will last longer. It doesn't put out quite the same power on propane as it would on gas. Unleaded, it would put out a little bit more, you know, the put out a little bit more as far as the wattage, the amps and such. But as I said before, if you're really going to do where you're running a generator like that, a gas generator or a propane generator, the ideal situation would be to have two of them and then alternate them. Run one, run it out, fire up the other one, let that one rest, to where, you know, they go back and forth and they get to rest in between the usages, and then you can check the maintenance on it, and you can, you know, refuel it and everything. And if you need to do an oil change, because they only run for so many hours before you have to do an oil change, that if you got the components and everything, you need to have whatever you need to do for routine maintenance and oil changes and spark plug or whatever you need, you know, whatever, you know, typical filters and replacement stuff. You need to have all that. And then the other positive is that if one of them breaks down, you got a second one. You got a backup. But if they're new, and if they're relatively new, and if you store them properly and you keep them safe and everything, they should run for years, taken care of. Now, that's where, in my opinion, for what it's worth, having lithium iron batteries, you have several of them, they'll put out a good chunk of, if you got 4 lithium iron 100 amp hour batteries, they'll store over 5,000 watt hours of power. Let's say you're talking about running a refrigerator, or say you got a chest freezer, or maybe both. They're going to cycle. So you're drawing power when they're on. They start up with a little surge, and then they basically idle down to a running power, and they're running on several hundred watts. You'd have to check. You can research depending on what you have, and you can make a determination of how long, or how much power will it draw running. And then if you've got some decent light, or if you're running a combination of a wind turbine, little wind turbines, you got a couple of wind turbines, and you've got solar panels, you should be able to be recharging as you are using. And you may have enough juice to be able to just keep them running for an extended period of time. Now, if you're dealing with something other that you're going to run out of, like you're using gasoline, or you're using propane, how many of those 20-pound tanks do you have? How many do you have? I've got a couple of propane grills, gas powered grills, nice ones, nice ones that I can cook with, and we use them occasionally. In a power outage when we had Hurricane Harvey, we were using it. We were using it, and the way we used it, the tanks, those tanks will last a long time. You get a 20-pound tank full, it'll last you a while. You'll use that thing for, you know, a week or two before you run out of a tank and you got another one to recharge. So you need to really research what you have and what it will do and how long will it last, and look at prices, research that stuff. Well, that's true, Uncle Al. The enemy of your roof would be a strong hurricane. That is true. $30 a day, yeah. Yeah. The idea being the idea being refrigerators, a chest freezer, whatever, they cycle. They might run for 10 or 15 minutes and then they're off for 30, 40 minutes, especially if you're not opening it all the time. Now, if you have a 12 volt or a couple of 12 volt compressor driven refrigerator freezers, maybe you use one of them as a freezer and use one of them as a refrigerator. When they're running at maybe 50 watts. When they're running, they're using 50, watt hours. Are they using 50 watt hours? Are they using that much an hour? And that's something else that I really would need to test. You start looking at, well, what do I need to be able to keep this thing running? I'm getting ready to add some more panels on the patio roof. I'm adding more batteries, lithium 100 amp hour batteries. I think I'm probably going to have 4 when I get it the way I want it. And I'm putting in a more powerful MPPT charge controller that can handle it. And I know that I'll be able to keep my 12 volt refrigerator freezers going, and I will be able to use my 12 volt kettle, my 12 volt cook pot. I'll be able to recharge various things. In a power outage, the grid's going to be down as far as, or the internet, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to have the internet. If the towers don't have power, you're not going to have signal. Now, I will say this, the Elon Musk system, the Starlink, you're basically pointed up at a bunch of satellites that are putting out your connectivity. So if you got his system, which is a portable system, and you can power it, it's not using a lot of power, you would have internet. And they're also talking about the phone system. The Starlink you'd be able to do phone service with it, and you don't have to worry about towers. but you'd only be able to communicate with people who have that system. But it's something to think about. It would be something to think about. EcoFlow. I have 3 Blue Eddy power stations. 2 of them are, small, just for basically recharging small stuff. One of them is a mid-sized. My go-to for long term would be those 100 amp hour batteries. Those lithium iron 15,000 cycle batteries. Having an inverter, having my 12 volt, being able to charge them with my solar, that would be my go-to. But I'm also looking at, for short-term use, for camping use and such, acquiring propane generators, a pair of them. And I figure I'll be out about $1,000 when I'm into them. And you got to have all the stuff so that you keep them going. And then it's basically having the propane and looking at that, because chances are, if our SHTF is a hurricane, you may be without power for 3 or 4 days, a week at the most. So then you start looking at, well, how long would it take, or what would I need to keep it going for a week? Propane and or unleaded. And I need to really look at that. Really need to look at, do the research, and then I need to come back and let y'all know. Anybody else sneaking when I'm not looking? I haven't been looking. And EcoFlow is good, Uncle Al. I'm not disrespecting EcoFlow. Hello, KP Heathen. I get to talking and I'm not paying attention who's making comments or saying anything. Please hit the like button. It'll be greatly appreciated. So propane, a propane generator or gas generator, preferably propane. Winter's coming, so what would be some winter preparations to do? Well, winterizing, wrapping your pipes or wrapping your faucets, making sure they're covered so they don't, when it freezes, get a real hard freeze, it doesn't freeze and burst when it, expands. If you can do something to protect your plants, some of your foliage, you got stuff you can move inside or move in the garage, or move, you can cover it with plastics or whatever when you ever freeze. My freezing weather here, usually we'll have overnight freezes where it drops down below freezing for a few hours and then it warms back up. And we usually average one good 2 to 3 day freeze during the winter, where it stays frozen for a couple of days. That's what kills a lot of your stuff, you know. That's what kills a lot of your stuff. Yeah, something like that. You buy the equipment, and the equipment costs you $300 or $400, I think. I mean, they do deals, and they also have reconditioned stuff that you can acquire reconditioned that's been previously owned, or it's been returned or whatever. You question why somebody would return it or why they wouldn't keep the service. But yeah, $130 a month or so. That's right now. I'm using T-Mobile. I've got a T-Mobile wireless station powering the house as far as internet's concerned. My phones have full service. Sometimes I don't get a very good signal. I get a lousy internet signal on my phone at school. The way I'm inside of a building that is surrounded by buildings. So 2-story, surrounded. So I'm sort of like, it just can't, the signal doesn't reach. It's not coming from up here, it's coming from a tower that the angle, the amount of concrete or whatever, steel or whatever, I don't get a signal. Now, I get good phone signal, and I get phones and email are on a different setup. That gets great. Doesn't interfere with that, I get that great. But the internet, yeah, that's true. Hello, Utah Mike. Lurking. Okie dokie. Leave me a like. Utah Mike. A little while ago, made myself a cup of coffee, and I have a Keurig. I have a couple of them. I've got one at work, and I use pods, but I had been putting a couple of these in my cup with a couple of these and hot water from my kettle. Trying to work my way through this. Makes a good cup of coffee. Makes a good cup of coffee. So we're 44 minutes into this live stream, 5 in the house and 8 likes. Please, if you would like to support the channel. Running a little. Oh, I haven't been promoting myself, so and I haven't been on that much, so it's not what it used to be. I was looking at some of the, looking at my channel page, and 350 views for a live stream a couple of months ago, before the wife had her, and now 50 is good. I look at the snapshot, so I had 50 views, and I'm down on the watch time. But now that I'm monetized, I'm not worried about the watch time, really. I will tell you, and then I'll say, you're drifting. I will tell you that I had a short last Thursday that had 6,600 views in 24 hours. And then it shut down. It ran strong for 24 hours. It got to 6,600 and shut down. And then after that, and prior to that, 400, 450, 430. Usually get in the 400s, my shorts, pretty consistently. Sometimes I get a clinker, I don't know. But after that, 30, 20, 25. What's going on? For several days. And then I had one that got about 240. The only one that got anywhere about 240. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Because I'm putting out the same type of stuff that I normally put out. And I'm thinking that, I'm not getting the algorithm or whatever is not pushing me out. I mean, it did a good job on that one that got the 6,600, and it was like a food video, it's like a food short. I don't know. And since then, so it's like I thought, oh man, I'm gonna be up over 30,000 views this cycle. Probably won't, because for several days it knocked me down. So maybe I'll get back to where I was. Well, thank you, Gina. I appreciate you being here. The algorithm, yeah, I think it's the algorithm. Uncle Al likes to talk about shadow banning. So let me say a few more things about, what you call preparedness or preps. Having good flashlights. Having good lights. Now, I have a lot of solar-powered stuff, lithium-powered stuff. This is the light. I've shown this before. Oh, that's cheap. Well, I paid about $20 for it. Plug it into USB. I can plug a cord into it and charge like a phone. It's got a little power bank. It's got indicators, 25, 50, 75, 100. Fully charged. A light. LED. $20. I've got 4 or 5 of them. The wife has one, the kid has one. I go out at night, walk down the sidewalk, whatever. I'm using it, don't want to possibly step on something other. $20. Having flashlights that run on AA batteries, or I would want AA if I was going to have batteries. It'd be nice if you have something that rechargeables. Right now, my T-Mobile station, $35 a month. Well, I also have my cell phones with them, $35 a month. And I get an educator discount on my phone, and then I've got the wife and the kid, on there. I'm glad that you're resting. You need to take care of yourself. So flashlights. Uncle Al's real big on light sticks, and I have some. He sent me some, and I bought some glow sticks. 12-hour glow sticks. They're good to have for an emergency. Blankets, sleeping bags, camping gear, a cots, padding for the cot, prepping the car. Do you have the radiator Has the radiator been flushed? Does it have radiator fluid to help so you don't freeze? It doesn't freeze on you, you know. Um, and then the house, do you prep your house for winter? Do you have firewood for your wood burning stove? What are your what are your what are you prepared for in case there's a power outage? You know. I bought a reconditioned iPhone 12 on Amazon, and I paid $235 for it. The new ones. Like if you were to buy I bought my wife a 14 when they were new, $1,000. It's paid off. Um, then you got the 15s, and now the 16s are out. They're very expensive. So you get a reconditioned one, one that's been reconditioned, you'll save a lot of money. That reconditioned 12 that I bought replaced the 7. So that's a major upgrade for me. My daughter's still using an 8 that I'd bought her new. Wish I'd bought her one new. And an 8 Plus. I don't know. Things are very expensive. I bought a 10th generation iPad. Nice one. $500. New. Paid for it. And like a couple of year old reconditioned iBook, $430 or so. They last forever. My daughter, knock on wood, is still using the one that I bought her when she graduated from high school. And she was at college. And she's had that thing for 6 or 7 years. I've had them before. Joseph Moore, my friend, how are you doing? Don't worry about it, you're not late. We've just been talking. So I released a video that I shot last weekend of Dave and Echo's box. Dave goes by Yoda. Americana something. I'm horrible. Echo goes by Living My Best Life at 60. More I can remember her. She hasn't changed it. She's been keeping the name the same. And Dave's constantly changing stuff around. He used to go by Yoda. No, he still goes by Yoda. He used to go by Guru and Wahoo. Guru and Wahoo. And it's changed. So he's constantly fiddling with. He's always fiddling. With his channel. Okay, Uncle Al. You take care. Your box is coming. I need to get it loaded up, and he told me what not to put in it. So I said, okay, Uncle Al. Okay. Thank you for coming in. 9 likes. And I pretty well stuck to script tonight. You know, I haven't been reminiscing the way I normally reminisce, and then he'll say, "I watched it again. Stick this trip. You started drifting." I make fun, but in all seriousness, um, we're still in hurricane season till the end of November. Oh, and they're going to hit us. They're going to hit us. They're already starting to hit us, going up on insurance and notifying us about our taxes, property taxes, and such. Um, Things are costing more. It's not a good deal. A lot of bad things. It can't keep going the way it's going. So, lay back, plenty of bottled water, canned foods. You take medication, make sure you get as big a supply of it as you can. If you can lay back some antibiotics, do that. Have a means to heat water. It's not expensive to do that. Not expensive. Um, I go to Sam's. 12 packs, canned heat. Each one burns 6 hours. You light it. 15 minutes, you got boiling water, turn it off. Get plenty of use from it. I use those little folding stoves. $11 right now. If you have it in your backpack or whatever, use canned heat, use Sterno. It's a 2-pack. I will be continuing giving out boxes. Early Christmas. I'm working on my Santa. And most of the people that are going to be getting boxes from me, those are going to be like second boxes. A lot of my subscriber giveaway people that have stayed with me, you know, you'll be getting follow-up boxes. And there will be some different stuff in the box from what I get before. It's like if you kept that stuff, some additional prepping stuff, you know. And I appreciate you. It's my way of giving back. Need to remember that we do live in changing times. Things are not the way they used to be. In some ways, things are better. In some ways, things are worse. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I'm not the guy I used to be. I mean, if you look at pictures of me from when I was anybody, you know, you look at pictures of the movie stars when they were young and now that my age or older, I look better than a lot of them. You know, I guess it's the way they've lived their lives. So when you get up in the morning, thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. If you're like me, I'm 62. A lot of people younger than me are no longer around. Take care of yourself. You take medication, take your medication. Drink your coffee. Say the Lord's Prayer in private. Be organized. Think about the day. Yeah. Yeah. I may not be on tomorrow because use meeting day at school. Depends on how things work. What sort of a day I have. I may not be on tomorrow. I apologize. I haven't been doing advance notice for, posting when I'm going to do something. Look at the latest video that I released. I released one about 3 days ago. Just released this one. I'll be doing one for Uncle Al's box. Got to put his box together. I got all the stuff for it. He canceled Bobby on some of the stuff. Is don't send me any sauce and don't send me any funnels and don't send me. Sent me a text message about what he wants and what he doesn't want. So I was like, okay, Uncle Al, you're the boss on that one. No problem. And it would be hard going back to the way things used to be. Little on prepper. In some ways, it would be hard. If there was some sort of major disruption, we would go back in time a couple hundred years. We'd go back in time, the way we would live. We would have better knowledge when it comes to medicine and such. We'd still have that knowledge. We might not have the medications, but we'd still have that knowledge. We'd have all of our knowledge of hygiene that we've learned, a lot of the stuff. That might drop back to a certain extent, but we'd still have it. So I will plan on trying to be on tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I'll try to remember to do, if I'm not, a community wall post. I haven't done any community wall posts lately. I am working on 1800, so if you want to be in the drawing, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released. And I'm still releasing videos, and I'm still like 30-ish short of 1800. And I'm not pushing, I'm just letting it go. And as they come in, they come in. Remember, the Scout motto is to be prepared, preparedness. It's about the idea of preparations, prepping, being prepared. And everybody, please have a blessed day. And hopefully we'll see you again pretty soon for another edition of Coffee Talk. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Good night.